My name is Tiffany. Welcome to Everything in Tea. I'm your host. On this channel, what we do is unboxings, unbaggings. We do craft tutorials. We talk about tea. We talk about other beverages. We talk about books. We talk about comic books. We talk about conventions. We talk about music festivals. We talk about music. We talk about everything on my channel. I do have nerve damage in my hand right now, so that kind of takes away a little bit of the crafting, but that's okay. We've got other things to do. We also do some unbagging, some recommendations, some reviews, things of that nature. So if I like it, you're going to hear about it, basically. That sounds crazy, but it's true. So today we've got a painting to do, and it's going to be a dot painting. Dot painting to me is really good about finding different colors that blend really well together. And today we are drinking a tea. I'm got one with a lid on it because I really didn't want to spill anything. I think that's the last one I did. So we've got Lipton. This is their Georgia style iced tea in peach. It is good. It is sweet. It just tastes like a peach tea. There goes the lid, just one mama. So anyway, it does taste like a peach tea. Just a simple little tea. I put the lid back on it so that way I can set it out of the way and not spill it. I'll probably be drinking on that throughout the video. This is, as you can tell, I like nautical things. So today, dot painting is going to have almost like a beachy type of feel to it, if it turns out the way I want it to. We are using watercolors for this one. I actually got this 30 pack of watercolors from Five Below, so you don't have to spend a lot of money on it. We will be using paintbrushes. We'll be using obvious watercolor paint. And yeah, so I got my little box of tissues near me, so that way if something happens, I can clean it up real quick. I will be using a little, probably maybe 5x7. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe either 4x6, 5x7, something like that, of a stretch canvas, because I prefer stretch canvases. Doesn't mean you have to, though. But those are what I'm using today. Now you can use any kind of because it's dot painting, you can use palette utensils, that's fine. I'm going to be using paintbrushes for this particular project. Some other things that I think you ought to know. Okay, so I like to mix different colors together to see what happens. The best way to do that, I like these dot paintings to do so. Excuse me. The very first dot painting I did for a while was this little circle canvas painting. And as you can tell, it's not perfect because there's some little darker blues. Well, it turned out to this little seafoam mint green color. But as you can tell, if you look at the edge, I didn't even clean up the edges on it. You can tell all different colors that I've used just to come up with this one little color of green. So I've used dark browns, I've used blacks, I've used yellows, I've used pinks, I've used a lot of different colors of blues, and I've used very little green. So the fact that it turned out this color is kind of crazy. But I liked it. It's a good way for me to practice, and with this hand, dot painting is very simple. And what did I use on it? I just used the basic little palette knife. That's all I did. And then I really liked to use paint. What do you call it? Tape, painter's tape. And I did a little painting with painter's tape that I really liked. But I never did anything until a couple weeks ago with blending the two styles together. So this is a dot painting that I used painter's tape with. And as you can tell, it came out darker. It was different because I used different colored paints on it. I do like it when I pulled up the tape. And as you can see, it's not perfect. I didn't want it to be perfect. To me, this is about just finding out what paint colors work well together. And yeah, so that's what I did. So for today, we're using watercolors. All of these were done with acrylics. So no acrylic works really well for this. I've never used a watercolor paint and dot color and a dot painting before. So I just thought, hey, why not my first time? I just film it and see what happens. So that is basically what we're going to do. So let me move some things out of the way here. I do have a variety of colors here. We're going to jump right on into it. Let me move this over. Please ignore my mess. I know it's really close right now, but I just need to focus on this for now. So as you can see, I have got a crap ton of stuff on my desk right now. So I can focus this a little bit. Oh, I'm trying to get my camera to turn a little bit without screwing anything up, which is going to be a major miracle for me. So I did have my little water here. So as you can see, I've got a lot of different colors going on. So we're going to scoot them back a little bit, and we're going to focus on this right now. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to use just a yellow, and I'm going to be using this little white and a little silver. These are the three things that I'm going to do, right? Not exactly in the center, a little bit above the center. There's a reason why I'm doing this. You will be messy. That's okay. It's not going to be perfect. It is a dot painting. I'm going to put a little dot of yellow paint right there. Well, it's kind of a larger, but that's what I wanted. I wanted the yellow to be really prevalent right there. I'm going to set that off to the side for a moment. Oh, and I also got me a new computer to do my filming on too. So, you know, that's good. And ignore this side of my desk. It's a mess, I know. I've got my little cherries there for inspiration. So dot painting, I don't know who invented it. I don't know where it came from or anything like that. Personally, I've always done it just to blend colors. And that's basically what I have always done. It's a nice way to blend colors. And I like a lot of colors, so why not see how they blend? Get this one opened. We'll be doing real good. So we got a little bit of the silver. I'll put the silver right about through there. And as you can tell, it's a little bit smaller than the yellow because I really wanted the yellow to be more predominant than the silver. Now we're going to stick white right through there. Actually, I think I'm going to do white up here. I think that might be the best way to do it. And so, yeah. And then we're going to work on the rest of the painting. Like I said, some of these are really easier to open than others. Excuse me. Alrighty then. A little bit right there. Excuse me. So, as you can tell, I did that. Like, if this is center, I did it just above center. Now, we're going to work on this bottom part. We're going to start off with this very pale brown. Let me grab me a drink of tea real quick. So this next color is like a pale brown or beige color, maybe is what you want to call it. And we're going to do a row down below here. I really wish I had a gold. I do not have a gold. No, I don't, but that's okay. I don't need a gold for this project. I will be using some metallics later on for a different painting. So we're going to we're just going to do, and these are watercolors. So the more water you add, the more it's going to be showing up, so I'm not that worried about how much you're going to use, because a little bit with watercolors does go a long way. And so yeah, so just made a little straight line of the little pale brown. I am going to go through and I'm going to do an apricot color right along with that, just to give it a little bit of a lighter base, because I want this color up here to be a little bit lighter. So we're just going to do that all the way down. We are going to add just a little bit of the pale brown, the very beige brownish color. Every so often, doesn't have to be perfect. And that's a nice thing. You don't have to be perfect on this at all. That's what I like about it. We're going to be moving on. This is a deep red. This is supposed to be a brown color. So that's going to be interesting to use next. And all we're doing, we're just literally like making little dots. So when I get to, ooh, that's a really big dot. That's okay. It'll blend well. So now we can just do that. You know, this just means that we don't have to use as much brown right there on the deep red color. And if nobody has figured out, I'm trying to figure out, should I tell you what this is supposed to be or not? I don't think I'm going to, because if it doesn't turn out, that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. It's a nice way to see what colors can blend well together. It's also sort of like a testing way that I can test on how different ideas and how different painting ideas could work. So now we're just going to go in with the darker colored brown. We're just kind of doing messy dots. That's what I like to call these, just little messy dots here and there. And that way, as you can tell, I am leaving plenty of room to add some other colors in, because I've got plenty of colors that I want to play with this right through here. I'm actually going to add a regular red color. I'm going to add some white color, maybe some silver, maybe some orange. Well, probably not the orange. Maybe some green color. So I'm just going to do 2 dabs of red. There's a reason because I'm doing this, actually. So we're going to do the titanium white. Got a tissue here real quick. Just 1 second. Oh! And so we're going to got an eyelash on there. How did I do that already? So we're just going to get through some white now. We're going to add a little bit of white there, a little bit of white here, a little bit of white there, a little bit of white there, some white up there. And now moving on to blues. The next set of colors we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing blues. And we're going to do an aqua blue, which is like a watercolor blue. Watercolor. Well, this one's called acid blue, but usually an aqua is sort of a pale light blue. So we're just going to go through and we're just going to start doing the blues right through there. And as you can tell, some dots are coming out perfect, other dots are coming out more fluid. I'm fine with that, because you know what? They're all going to blend together the same way. We're going to be using a true blue, which is just a regular blue color next. And I can get this opened. We will be doing very, very good. But I mean, like, this to me is a fun project to do. If it turns out the way I want it to, it'll be awesome. Oh! Okay, being injured, and I just stuck my hand in yellow paint, so yeah. So we're going to do a couple of things with that, like so. And then back here, we're going to do some dark blues. And has anybody figured out what this might be like? The color should give you, color combinations are probably a bigger hint in the way that I'm doing it. Whether or not it actually turns out the way I want it to, I do not know yet, and I won't know until after everything is done with. And for some reason, Now we're just going to go back through with like a dark or navy blue. It says a navy blue is what you would call it. We're just going to do a few little dots of that. We're going to add in some green. We're going to add in a little bit of a seafoam green here within the blues. And then we're going to start from the top and work our way to the middle. And it's okay to let the paint, however long it takes you, These are water, so that makes it a lot easier to do. Give me just 1 second. I'll be right back over here. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Alrighty, so now we're just going to go through and we're going to add here and there some of this seafoam green. And as you can tell, I'm just doing it any which way. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not looking for perfect. Just enough to make it a little bit of a brighter in between there. I am going to add in a couple of dots of a darker green as well. So we got dark blues, we got dark greens. Anybody know what this is going to be yet? Probably not. Dark green along with the dark blue a little bit more. So we got the dark green going on. We're going to add a little bit of a grass green, sort of a brighter neonish colored green. And we're not going to do a whole lot. We're just going to pop it in here and there, maybe like 4 or 5 times. And that's it. So all the bottom is done. We're going to work from the top all the way down. We're going to start off at the very top with some little bit of red. I can get the red back opened. We're just going to do some red. And like I said, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be in a straight line or anything like I did at the bottom. These colors are just going to be everywhere, basically, with these colors here. Because that's what I want, you know? So we got some red going on. We're going to do a little bit of this rose colored. I think will be a nice little addition to it. Just doing different little dots everywhere. Some are going to be really large, others are going to be a lot smaller. That's okay. This is just something we're trying out. It is all watercolor, so it's okay. So that's going to be the rose. Nice little, I'll call it Barbie pink because that's what it reminds me of. We're going to throw in a little bit of this red orange over here. These over here. I'm going to start moving things around a little bit better. So, some red orange. And yes, I know some of these projects are time consuming. We're already at 20 minutes, but that's okay. I'm okay with it. If you're okay with it, hopefully you're not bored yet. And as you can tell, I'm not really putting a whole lot around this area. There's a reason for that, and you'll find out at the very end why I did not do it that way. So we added some of this red orange. We're going to be doing a little bit of this dark purple amethyst up towards the top part of the painting, up in this area. Mainly because who doesn't like an amethyst, you know? I do like a good dark purple. And as you can tell, I'm not putting a lot of the darker colors up at the top, mainly in the very bottoms and in certain particular areas that I think they should go. We're going to be using an orange next. Or actually, I think I want to go with this little, this one's called Rhodamine Red. It looks more like a fuchsia to me. Whether or not it's actually fuchsia, I do not know, but we're going to find out. And we're just going to add different little specks of the fuchsia. Now these are watercolors, so you can always add water to add more color or less color. And that's the nice thing about a watercoloring, is that's basically what it's there for. Add some more down in this area. As you can tell, these dots over here are extremely small, and that's okay. You know, I've got plenty of colors left to go. And as you can tell, this coloring right here, this is a lot more colors than what I used on, say, this color. And to get the effect that I actually really do want, I think that's the best way I can do it, is to use a little bit more coloring. And so yeah, so that's the reasoning behind using so many different colors. And this product here, the thought that I've got for it, of course it's going to be a lot more colorful. It's going to be very, very colorful if it turns out the way I want it to. That's kind of the reason why I'm going in with some orange now. That's kind of the reason why I wanted to do it this way. The idea behind this project will be very colorful, and I like colors. So this is just a regular orange I went through with. The next color I'm going to use is this very, very, very pale purple or lilac or lavender color, whatever color you want to call it. It's a very pale purple, light purple. And that's going to be the very next color I use on it. And then we'll be using some more of the yellow, a little bit more white. And these are just going to be very small here and there. Just to give it a little bit more of a... I just like this color, basically. There's probably no reason why I use this color, except I just like it. So we're going to go in with some more yellow. We're actually going to be doing some yellow through here. Hopefully if I can get it. There we go. I didn't want to do a big old blob of it again. Just a little bit here and there. So it's not going to be like overly yellow. And has anybody figured out exactly what the idea is for this painting yet? If you haven't, that's okay. I didn't expect you all to. I'm going to do some more white, a little bit more white on throughout. Because I can, basically. And as y'all can tell, I only used the silver once. So we're actually going to be using a little bit more silver down here on the very bottom right now. And then we're going to start painting. And then you're going to be amazed at how well this is going to turn out. At least in my brain, I think it's going to be really well done. And I think it's going to be different enough to where you can actually tell where I got the inspiration from and why I did it this way. And, excuse me. So this is going to be the dots right here. So as you can tell, we start out with some really browns, some blues. Then we're going into some oranges, silvers, whites, purples, oranges, pinks. So yeah, and some reds in there as well, and some greens with the blue. So to start off with, we're just going to use a little brush. And let me get some more napkins out because heaven knows I'm going to use them. We got to scoot the water over a little. And with watercolors, you really want to kind of saturate it on the brush or it doesn't turn out right. So now we're just going to paint this way. You know, and as you can tell, I started on this side where the largest color of that red was, you know. You can tell those look like little bubbles. That's okay. They'll blend in. They will be covered up. I am fine with that. We may even paint a little bit of the edge because I got so much of that reddish brown on there. I'm fine with that. This is actually turning out the way I thought it might. So far, we're doing good. You know. Water on there. You can even dry brush your paintbrush a little bit if you feel like you've got too much. Even though it is a watercolor, sometimes there is such a thing as too much water on a brush. So, and then now we're going to start blending this part in. And again, it's kind of a neat little effect here on all this brown color. Now here in a second, I'll be changing. I'm going to be doing this in phases with different brushes because that's the way I think it's going to look the best for this particular idea. I think this might be the best way to do it. And so we're just going to blend it all in. Left to right even. It's okay if it's uneven. Sometimes it gets that way. It's uneven. It's okay. Maybe do a little bit of a splatter through there. But yeah, all this is just, you can paint it back and forth if you want. You can paint it upside, downside. It does not matter. You can do a little bit of this. And I'm actually going to add a little bit more deep coffee into the very bottom part of this. Just 2 more little dots. And then we're just going to do a little bit of a wave effect like this. I'm going to add a little bit more white in there to maybe make it a little bit lighter. But as you can tell, it kind of looks odd up here. That's the effect I want though. We're going to add a white dot right there and maybe one right there. And we're just going to blend that part in. And then we'll be moving on to the blues. I will be switching out paint brushes for the blue part. That just lightens it up a little on this end. And that's what I was looking for. And then to lighten it up some. So that is going to be the very bottom part of this painting. Now we can blend this very top part of that in with this. And as you can tell, it blended in a lot more red. And that's okay. You know, there are different little tricks. Like if you just dip it in there and use a lot of water and do a little like a circular motion, you know, you get a different effect on the painting. It adds a little bit more texture. So we're going to leave that alone for the bottom part. We are going to actually be working through the blue now. And so I'm going to paint everywhere. Just 1 second here. Let me grab me another napkin. I got through so many napkins on this. But now, you see, We're going to start up here with the darker colors. I'm just ever slightly picking up some white from up there. And this is all I'm doing, is making like a little C. You can make a little C, you can do this project very simply. And as you can tell, I did start with the lighter, with the darker color. There's a reason why I'm doing that. I'm not sure the reason right now, but I'm sure there is. So we're just going to blend this in, and we're still going to make some C's. Just C's. That's all there is. Make a little bit of C over here. Make a little bit of C down here. See? That's all there is to it. Just make little C's. Okay. So we're going to clean this brush off real good. Because when we do the lighter ones, I want the light to be really light and not dark. That's why I started with the dark. So now we're just going to go through and we're going to pick up this lighter color. I'm going to be doing the same effect. Just making little C's, blending it in with the brown a little. Blending it in up here with the dark brown. Or with the dark blue, I mean. And then just blend it in with this brown here. And if you go into the brown, that's okay. That's kind of an effect I kind of like, that I kind of want to do. And once it's finished, you'll see why. Okay. The idea for this, I don't know if you all just heard, there was a train going by. There are two things that I like to live by. I like living by water and by trains. And so yeah, so we're kind of making a painting to do with water and with trains right now. But we're doing it in a dot style. This is not going to be perfect. It does not need to be perfect. I mainly wanted to see what kind of effect this would have if I tried doing it as just a painting. So, I've done water paintings before. I've done beach paintings before. I've done a lot of paintings before. Flower paintings, everything. So that's kind of our little wave effect right there, by just letting the brush gently hit wherever. And like I said, this is watercolor, so the more water you're going to add, the darker it's going to be in certain places, the lighter it's going to get. Maybe pick up some more darker blues up here and bring it down more, maybe, you know, because if you think about the ocean or any type of a sea, and the upper part, it's always going to be darker because you're looking out at it. As it gets closer, it gets a little bit lighter. Same thing with sand. Wet sand, a little bit darker. When you're walking along the beach, it's all light sand. When you see the tide roll in and it roll back, it looks darker. And that's a lot of it. So that part, we've got the water done. We've got the bottom part done. So we're gonna we're gonna work on the next part. We're not even gonna flip it around. So let me grab another paintbrush over here. Yes, I am using different paintbrushes on this one, mainly to get the effects that I want, the colors that I want to blend well together is what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing it in sections. So for this, we're going to start up here at the very top, and we're just going to blend it. Again, little C's, kind of like the little C effect. C. And I'm calling this a very, very, very modern style to do things. But also, once we start blending up here, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to do C's all the way down through there. We're going to do one of these. And you can even paint the sides if you want, it doesn't matter. It's all you. It's a safe space for you to be creative. You can even do it this way, which actually I kind of like that effect. I'll do some this way. Lightening up some by adding more water. And up a little bit more color down this way. This is more exciting than what I thought it was going to be. Kind of like picking up, and that's the nice thing about the watercolors is that, you know, you can make it really stand out by making different shades lighter. Like you can take a really dark black and make it into a real pretty gray with watercolors. And as you can tell, I didn't use that many dark colors in this painting because I don't want it to be a dark colored painting. Now, the practice painting I did in the last video where I was just doing the tape thing, I wanted it to be dark. There's a reason why I did such dark colors, mainly just to see exactly how well they blend together. Of course, that is totally different with acrylics, because with water you can actually dilute it down to make it into the colors you want. So as you can tell, I really wanted a lot more of a lighter colors in certain areas, and that's what I did. So now we're getting to the exciting part of the painting, because I am going, as you all can tell, I'm kind of skipping the middle altogether. There's a reason why I'm doing that. You all will find out why here in a little bit. Some of these darker colors blended in really well. But yeah, just blending it and blending it and blending it and blending it and blending it. Touch the water a little, that's okay, because as you're looking out at the horizon, it all is going to blend together sometimes, as you all know, whenever you all look out at the sky. So the colors of the sky are quite interesting. Whenever you look at the sky, you can see, depending on what time of day, you can see whatever color you want to see. You can even bring up some of this blue up here, and then dilute it down with some water and get this really fascinating effect into the sky. So yeah, kind of like that. And this is all we're doing. We're just playing. You can make it back and forth to make it a little bit smoother with some water right now. Dab your brush a little bit. Get some of the excess paint off from there. As you all can tell, I did leave this little center spot. There's a reason for that. And we're almost to that point. So yeah. So now we're going to change into yet another paintbrush. And I will show you all why we are doing, why we did it to where that would be right in the center. So for this, we're going to start in the middle. We're going to bring it down this way. We're going to bring it up that way. And then we're just going to circle. Circle, circle, circle. Pick up that silver, pick up the white, pick up the yellow. And we're just going to do a little circle here. And you can go a little bit larger with the circle if you want to. However it feels comfortable. You know, we're just doing it. And it's okay if the circle's off center. As you can tell, I didn't particularly place mine in the center. I did a little bit above the middle of the thing, and I kind of moved it over towards what would be my left, which would mean that it'd be your right. So that is why. So as you can tell, it turns out to be a little yellow circle. And can anybody tell me why it's a circle of yellow? Anybody know yet? It is because it's the sunlight. This is going to be the center sun. Well, not really center, but the off-center sun, I suppose, of where you're looking at waves, when you're looking at the ocean, and you have these beautiful sunset colors and nice little modern painting, modern interpretation of the sun set over the ocean. And as you can tell, it is not perfect. It is a dot painting. They don't have to be perfect. I've yet to see a dot painting that is perfectly perfect. But yeah, and then you can just kind of bring out the yellow a little. And you don't have to do it this way. You can do it any other way you want to do. Whatever colors you want to do it in, you do. Because that's the nice thing about the dot painting. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be all one color. It doesn't have to be the colors I used. In fact, I'm going to show you guys something really, really cool. So take a little dab of this silver here. A little bit of silver there, a little bit of silver over here. And then you add a little bit of this white. If the white would come out. To get another paintbrush, but you want more of a pointed one maybe. Maybe something with a little bit of a point like that. And then go very, very gently into it. And again, it's just a little bit of different strokes. This doesn't have to be bright or anything or noticeable or anything like that. You can actually add a little bit more white to make it a little bit more noticeable. And you got yourself some clouds. And I have used a lot of different colors in this painting. I do like the way the painting is turning out. It is turning out to somewhat the idea that I had when I started it of a little sunset ocean painting. I'm adding a little bit more silver to the white. And we're going to make a couple of little clouds up here because, not everything's always perfect. So we're just going to dab that around a little, play with it. As you can tell, I'm using just a little pointed paintbrush. And as you all can tell, everywhere else I've used these very flat paintbrushes. And that's okay. This one might be a little bit of a more outrageous looking crowd, and that's okay too. That's fine. Adds a little bit of texture to it. Now we can use a little bit more yellow over here in the middle. We'll make it a really bright sun, which is fine. And again, I'm going to go for, rather than a flat one like I started out with, we're going to go with more of a rounded tip, for the extra bit of yellow. And we're just going to mainly stay right there in the center of it, just to make it yellowish. Because as the sun goes out, it gets a little bit lighter. And that is why. As you all can tell, these paintbrushes, I did get a little bit of that on there, that's okay. There's an easy way to get that. You can actually take the end of a paintbrush or your finger. There are times when I even use a little bit of a, if your paintbrushes are not that great and if they do start to come off, I haven't used these paintbrushes for a while. Some of the older ones, they do lose their bristles sometime. And that's okay. You know, like I said, nothing's going to be perfect. I don't want it to be perfect. It's art. To me, art can go one of two ways. If you're looking for something particular and if you want it to be perfect, that's one thing. If you're looking to create something a little bit different, a little bit fun, just to check out how things are going and how things happen, that's okay too. It all depends on what you want to do. Again, I'm picking up just a little round one, and we're just going to go around in the center of this with a lot of the yellow, just to get the yellow effect right there in the center really, really well. And then we're going to take some of the yellow out on the sides here. And yeah. So anybody that guessed at the beginning that we were doing a sunset over the ocean, you're right. You know? And that's all there is. So we added some texture up here with the clouds. Let me see if I can hold it up here better for you. So we added some texture with the clouds. We even got a little bit of texture going on. It was like a embossed rose style of feel for the sun. We got a little bit of texture over here on this side with the cloud. But as you can tell, if you can tell it at all, you've got a sunset with the ocean and the sand. It's not perfect. It's a dot painting, so it's not going to be perfect, first of all. I love the way that all the blues and greens blended together. I like the fact that the browns blended so well. This is a watercolor, so you can actually tell strokes, the water, everything. I love the way the sun went. I love the fact that I could add a little bit of silver and a little bit of white and create this little bit of cloudage over it, because like I said, nothing is perfect. Not even a sunset is perfect. There are beautiful sunsets out there. Are they perfect? Probably not. But that's okay. That's not what we wanted. We wanted to have some fun. We wanted to check out some paint colors. And we got a beautiful little sunset painting over an ocean to show for it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a lovely, lovely, wonderful day. I hope you all enjoyed painting with me today. We'll be doing some more dot paintings in a couple weeks. We'll be doing some more just drawings or paintings as my hand gets better. Some jewelry making, some wreath making, different types of things coming up. We'll be doing some unboxings and unbaggings and talking about everything from Dragon Con to some new books coming out, to some comic books, to music that's coming out, to everything. You know, go out, enjoy your day. Thank you so much for watching.